Chapter 1. The broadcast begins. The lights beamed down on the sleek studio in Geneva. Flags from around the world lined the backdrop. A symbol of unity, or, more accurately, the illusion of it. Tonight's live international broadcast was a special event hosted by the Global Leadership Forum. Millions tuned in to watch political figures and heirs to powerful legacies discuss the future of governance. Among the guests, Ibrahim Traoré, the military leader and transitional president of Burkina Faso, calm, disciplined, and intense. He sat in traditional dress, composed and grounded. Across from him, Barron Trump, youthful, brash, and surrounded by an aura of inherited confidence. The son of former US President Donald Trump, Barron carried a surname with weight, but tonight, he was determined to forge his own presence. Chapter 2. The tension mounts. From the moment the moderators introduced the pain lists, an undercurrent of tension buzzed through the room. Questions ranged from climate policy to global inequality. And while most answered with political polish, Barron took a different tone. He interrupted, joked condescendingly, and tried to dominate the conversation. Traoré remained stoic. Chapter 3. The arrogant line. Then came the moment that would light up social media. The moderator posed a question about the challenges facing African nations. Barron leaned into his mic, smirking. Well, I think it's easier to lead a country when you have fewer expectations. It's not like managing the US or Europe. A stunned silence rippled through the room. Cameras zoomed in. Traoré didn't blink. Chapter 4. A deep breath. Instead of replying immediately, Traoré sat back in his chair. He looked straight at Barron, his gaze unwavering. Then, slowly, he reached for his glass of water, took a sip, and placed it down with deliberate grace. The room was breathless. Chapter 5. Traoré speaks. Traoré leaned forward. Mr. Trump, he began, his tone calm but firm. Leadership is not measured by how loud you are, or how many cameras you face. It is measured by what you sacrifice for your people, and how well you understand them. He paused. If you think expectations are low in my country, it's only because you don't understand what true resilience looks like. We lead under sanctions, under the threat of conflict, with resources looted by foreign interests for generations. And yet we still stand. Chapter 6. A room transformed. You could hear a pin drop. Even the moderators looked frozen. Barron sat still, his smirk gone. Traoré continued. I do not come from billions. I do not fly in private jets. But I have walked the dusty roads of my country and looked. Mothers in the eye who buried children because of decisions made in buildings like this. So no, I do not envy your burden of expectations. I carry the weight of survival. Chapter 7. Reactions around the world. Clips of the exchange exploded online. Hashtags trended globally within minutes. Hashtag Traoré speaks. Hashtag legacy vs leadership. Hashtag real power. World leaders chimed in. Some praised Traoré's poise and truth. Others tried to defend Barron's comment as misunderstood. But for most of the global audience, the verdict was clear. Traoré had not just responded. He had redefined the conversation. Chapter 8. Barron silence. In the remaining minutes of the broadcast, Barron said little. His earlier swagger seemed to melt into a reflective quiet. Traoré, meanwhile, didn't seek to humiliate. He answered the rest of the questions with the same composure, never looking back. Chapter 9. After the lights. Backstage, a producer whispered to a colleague, that moment. We just filmed history. And they had. Chapter 10. The streets respond. In Burkina Faso, crowds gathered in markets and homes, watching the replay again and again. In New York, even among Trump supporters, many expressed surprise, and some, admiration. Young Africans across the continent took to TikTok and Instagram, sharing their reactions and pride. Traoré didn't just speak for Burkina Faso. One teen posted, he spoke for all of us. Chapter 11. Inside the Trump circle. Behind closed doors, aides to the Trump family scrambled to craft a response. Some urged Barron to apologize or clarify. Others pushed him to double down. But Barron remained quiet. Something about the confrontation seemed to linger in his mind. Chapter 12. The editorial storm. Newspapers headlined the moment. The MIC drop heard around the world. Africa answers back when legacy met reality. Political analysts dissected every gesture, every word. Commentators highlighted the importance of listening to voices, long ignored on global platforms. Chapter 13. The lesson begins. Traoré, returning to Burkina Faso, gave a speech at the university in Ouagadougou. We are no longer in the era of silence. When you speak your truth with dignity, the world cannot ignore you. Students erupted in cheers. He wasn't just a leader. He was now a symbol. Chapter 14. The shift. At the next Global Forum planning session, organizers quietly revised their guest list. More leaders from the Global South were invited. More balance. More equity. The confrontation had sparked more than just applause. It had started a shift. Chapter 15. Barron reflects. Weeks later, Barron Trump appeared on a separate broadcast. This time, his tone was measured. That night taught me something. There's more to leadership than being heard. It's about knowing when to listen. It wasn't an apology, but it was growth. Chapter 16. A story retold. Schools in Burkina Faso began teaching the moment in media literacy classes. Debate clubs across Africa reenacted the scene. Even in parts of Europe, university forums discussed the ethics of inherited power. Chapter 17. The legacy of the exchange. It became more than a viral moment. It became a reference point, a marker in time when the narrative began to change. Chapter 18. MIC drop echoes. Some said it reminded them of Mandela speeches. Others compared it to historic debates at the UN, whatever the comparison. No one forgot how a single, calm voice silenced a legacy of entitlement. Chapter 19. The man who spoke last. In a world obsessed with who speaks first and loudest, Traoré reminded everyone that real power lies in who speaks last, and with purpose. As Barron exited the stage that night, cameras caught one final shot. He turned, just briefly, and gave a respectful nod to Traoré. And Traoré, ever composed, returned it. Chapter 20. Echoes beyond the broadcast. The moment didn't end with the cameras. Far from it. NGOs, activists, and educators across the globe cited the exchange as a turning point. In Ghana, a summit on youth leadership opened with a playback of the clip. In France, political forums began inviting younger African voices. And in the US, a movement grew among youth calling for authentic leadership over legacy. Traoré was later asked in an interview, "Did you plan that response?" He smiled. "I planned to be honest. Sometimes that's all it takes."